Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. If you are new, I am a mom to now 3 little ones, ages 4 and under. And here on my channel, I love helping moms do mom life better. And that comes in the form of cleaning motivation and productivity tips, as well as super simple mom-friendly recipes. So today I have 4 super quick and easy but delicious dinner recipes for you. These are actually recipes that we make for our family all of the time. And then I also have a really simple but so good dessert that I want to share with you guys as well. So I thought we would start with dessert first. This is my aunt's famous butterscotch chocolate Rice Krispie treats. So to a large pot, add 1 cup of sugar. I only had coconut sugar on hand, but definitely recommend using white sugar. And then also add 1 cup of Karo Syrup. Then add 1 cup of peanut butter. And all you want to do is melt all of this together. Once this mixture is melted, add 6 cups of Rice Krispie cereal. And it's a little thick, but stir it all together until it's well combined. And then next, you're going to butter a 13 by 9 dish. Then pour your Rice Krispie mixture into that buttered dish, and then you're going to use clean hands to flatten it all out. Now for the last step, this is the easiest step of all. You're gonna get a package of butterscotch chips and a package of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I didn't realize this, but you need 2 cups and 1 package equals 2 cups. So just go ahead and pour the whole package of butterscotch chips and the whole package of chocolate chips into a microwave safe dish. You wanna melt this completely, so if you prefer to use a double boiler, you can totally do that instead of the microwave, but I went the simple route. Once the butterscotch and chocolate chips are melted, go ahead and pour that mixture over the Rice Krispies and smooth it completely. Then you're gonna pop this in the fridge for as long as it takes to get that chocolate mixture to set, and that's it. You'll just cut this into squares to serve it. This is a great treat to send to somebody or take with you to an event because this treat really holds up well traveling. All right, so moving on to our first dinner. This is the simplest and quickest meal, but I promise you guys it is so satisfying and tasty. We're gonna be making a fancy quesadilla basically. All you're gonna need is a can of black beans rinsed. I like to rinse mine off, so I just pour it into a colander and rinse them off in the sink. You're also gonna need a can of corn drained. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Andrew cooked a lot of the dinners this week, and so he was so sweet to film it for you guys. That way we could share some of our favorite recipes with you. So this step is optional. You could totally just do the black beans and corn and call it a day, but Andrew added diced tomato and some cilantro, as well as some diced jalapeno. You can totally do it however you want to, but these additions made it so tasty. Now this step is optional. Andrew went ahead and mixed all of the ingredients together. That way, as he was kind of doing an assembly line of quesadillas, he could just scoop the filling onto the cheese and tortillas and call it a day. So he went ahead and mixed all of the ingredients together, and he also added some taco seasoning, which just kicked it up a notch. The assembly is super easy. Just put some cheese on a tortilla, then to that add your bean and corn mixture, then top it with some more cheese and the second tortilla, and then you're just gonna cook it on a griddle until all of the cheese is melted and everything is nice and hot. I like to get a little crisp on the outside of my tortillas. Andrew's fancy and he put a lid over his quesadilla that just helps trap the steam inside and melt the cheese better. And then to serve, he cut the quesadillas into fourths, drizzled some sour cream over the top as well as some cilantro, and that was it. The kids really loved it, and I'm gonna be honest, I really loved it too. The next recipe is a kind of a stir fry. It seems a little bizarre, but you guys, it is the tastiest thing, and it is so simple to make, and it's also a great way to get veggies in. We're gonna serve the stir fry over rice, and we love to make our rice in the Instant Pot. If you haven't tried this method, it's way easier than trying to cook rice on the stove, and I'll go ahead and link a recipe for cooking your rice in the Instant Pot in the description box below. I'm also going to link this recipe as well as all the rest of the recipes I'm sharing today in the description box below. But after he got the rice going, he is going to start cutting and prepping the veggies. So he's just cutting some small yellow potatoes into fourths. He's got a pot on the stove and he's going to add some avocado oil and get that getting nice and hot. While the oil is heating, Andrew went ahead and chopped up some zucchini and some squash. And once the oil was hot, he added his potatoes and started cooking those down a little bit. While the potatoes were cooking, he's going to continue prepping the veggies. He's got a green and a yellow bell pepper that he is just cutting into slices. And the real star of the show is this kielbasa. I love kielbasa. I grew up eating it. My mom used to serve it with boxed rice-a-roni, which is such a good combination. But anyways, I love me some good kielbasa. So we went ahead and chopped that up as well. And he also diced an onion. Once the potatoes are nice and cooked through, Andrew took them out of the pot and set them aside on a plate. And then to the same pot, I love this because it is a one pot dish, He added the kielbasa and the onion, and he's gonna cook that down. Once the kielbasa has some brown to it, go ahead and remove that from the pot and set it aside on another plate. To the same pot, add your bell peppers and your zucchini and squash and go ahead and cook those down. And once those are cooked, add back your kielbasa and your potatoes and stir it all together. You might at this point want to make sure that the seasoning is correct and add some salt and pepper if you feel like it needs it. And I like to serve this mixture over rice, and I personally like coconut aminos over all of this, but you can also do soy sauce. Moving on to one of my favorite comfort dishes. This is shepherd's pie, and we have made this several times over the winter. The first thing Andrew's doing is getting the mashed potatoes started. But I did want to say, if you are not trying to make some mashed potatoes and you want to make this meal even faster and simpler, you can totally make instant mashed potatoes, and that would taste good too. But since Andrew is going the extra step in making homemade, he went ahead and chopped up the potatoes, added them to salted water, and he's gonna let those cook. So while the potatoes are cooking, go ahead and heat 4 tablespoons of butter in a large saute pan and chop up 1 medium onion. You can also add some garlic if you'd like. Add that to the saute pan and go ahead and cook those down for about 6 to 10 minutes. Once the onions are cooked down, go ahead and add in a pound of ground beef and cook that down until there is no longer any more pink. And I'm telling you, it doesn't get any easier than this. Next, add in a package of frozen mixed vegetables. Next, add in 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, as well as a half a cup of beef broth. You're gonna reduce the heat and let this simmer uncovered for about 10 minutes. And if you need to, you can add more beef broth just to make sure that the meat doesn't dry out. So when the potatoes are done, add 4 tablespoons of butter. You can also add some milk if you want to, and just make a really fluffy mashed potato. Make sure you season it with salt and pepper too. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. So now it's time to assemble the shepherd's pie. Typically you would cook this in a 9x13 baking dish, but we wanted to keep some for ourselves, but also have some to give to my parents. So we went ahead and separated this into 2 separate dishes. But regardless, put the meat mixture at the bottom of the dish and then top it with your mashed potatoes. And then you're gonna put it in a 400-degree oven and cook it until browned and bubbly. Usually this takes about 30 minutes. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and turn the broiler on and just crisp up the top of your mashed potatoes. This dish is super simple and easy. I actually like to put some ketchup on mine. I don't know if that's weird or not, but I think it tastes really good. But it's just a really warm, comforting, and filling dish. Moving on, we're gonna make the simplest sheet pan fajitas. This tastes like you spent tons of time cooking it over the stove, but literally you just throw it all in a pan, throw it in the oven, and call it a day. I'm gonna include the recipe in the description box below, but for the seasoning, they want you to make your own mixture, but Andrew just simplified it even more because hashtag mom and dad life, and he just went ahead and used a taco seasoning and it tasted great. The first thing Andrew's doing is slicing up his vegetables. He has 1 onion halved and then sliced from top to root. Next, slice up some bell pepper. Andrew just did red and green, but a yellow one would be a nice addition as well. And then Andrew also sliced up some lime as well as some fresh cilantro. And you're just gonna slice 2 chicken breasts into 1/2 inch thick strips. Add all of this stuff to a bowl. I'm telling you guys, so easy. And then sprinkle in some taco seasoning. If you want to get fancy, you can mix your own spices, but we love this taco seasoning from Costco. And then you're gonna spread this mixture onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet and pop it into a 400-degree oven. Cook this for about 18 to 25 minutes. Just make sure that your chicken is cooked all the way through. And then serve this inside a tortilla with some sour cream, fresh lime, fresh cilantro. You can get fancy with the topping, but this is super simple sheet pan chicken fajitas. All right, so that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you are a busy mom or a busy person in general, hopefully you can tuck these recipes away and bust them out on a busy weeknight. If you do end up making any of these recipes, take a picture of it and tag me on Instagram so that I can see. Like I said earlier, if you guys have not subscribed to my channel already, I would love it if you guys did that. I would love for you guys to be a part of the Simply Allie family. You can also follow me on Instagram at Allie_Gooch. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.